Let's talk about the art of building trust. Hey guys, Dave Ward here, and I'm going back a little bit to a video series that I filmed a while ago where I was answering a lot of questions for people about, some of which were about Team Beachbody and our business, some were just kind of about life. And I got a really interesting question from a friend of mine named Brad, and it's about building trust and really even restoring trust. And so Brad's question basically is, and I think he's specifically talking about Beachbody, but I think this stuff applies all over your life, not just here in Beachbody land. How do you restore trust with people after maybe you've lost it? So, the situation I think happens a lot for people, especially when they're new to our business, because if you look at trust, one of the easiest ways to gain someone's trust is to be in a position of authority, right? When you've accomplished something, people all of a sudden look at you and go, oh, I need to trust this person because they know how to do what I want to do because they've already done what it is that I want to do, okay? So for me, for example, I've been in this business now really for 5 years, almost 5.5 now, and my wife's been doing it for 7, and we've kind of been around since the beginning, and we've had a lot of success. That builds trust really easily with people because they have a lot of confidence that I know what I'm talking about. When you're new, and I get this because I've been there and I remember it, when you're new, you can't rely on that authority to establish trust with people because you haven't done it yet. You haven't done it. If you're new in this business and you're not a diamond coach or even an emerald coach, it's really hard to say, hey, you, follow me, right? So you can't rely on authority to build relationships early in this business. What you do is you rely on communication, okay? You have to become a great communicator if you want to be really successful in our business. That's just kind of the bottom line. That's how it works, okay? Being a great communicator means a couple of different things, I think. I think number one, it means understanding people, okay? If you've ever worked with me, you know I'm a big fan of personality types. I pound the personality types. I've actually got my book right here. I love this book, Personality Plus by Florence Littauer. Fantastic book. Why is that so important? Think about this. If you knew somebody who was a Spanish speaker, and they spoke English, they speak English, but they're not completely comfortable. Maybe it's just their accent that they don't like the sound of. And you've always communicated with them in English. Are you guys going to have a really tight, clean communication that's going to make them feel super comfortable? Probably not. What if you learned Spanish? And you could then talk to them in a language maybe you weren't completely comfortable with, but they were completely comfortable with their language, okay, with the Spanish, right? There's 4 major languages that people speak, even though everyone is speaking English. If you can learn and understand those 4 major languages, you're able to speak to people in their language. You're able to communicate with them on their level. That builds trust, okay? So that's the first thing. Becoming a master communicator is a great way to help build trust. The other thing that is related to being a master communicator, I suppose it's the same thing, really. It's just a different arm of the same thing. It's learning to say you're sorry. Learning to just own it if you've done something wrong, to own it. To go to somebody and say, hey, I don't feel right about this. Maybe we haven't talked for a while. I'm not sure why, but if I've done anything, I'm sorry. Can we start over? Would that be okay? Now, sometimes that's not going to happen. They're going to say no, okay? But I think more often than not, people appreciate that gesture enough to give you a second chance, okay? Now, in the Beachbody world, I'll tell you what that looks like. And I've done this quite a few times over my tenure in this business. It looks like, hey, dear coach of mine, when you got started as a coach, I didn't really know what I was doing. I've learned what I'm doing. We're doing things differently than we did when we first brought you in, and I don't feel like I gave you a fair shot. Now notice I could say the same thing and say, hey, you didn't take advantage of this opportunity. But that's not going to get me very far with them, is it? What's going to allow me to help them move forward is to say to them, it's my fault. It's my fault. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes it's not. But that's what they need to hear. in order for you to rebuild that trust and get them to re-engage with you. At that point, you can rely a little bit more back on where I started, which is authority. Because if you've been around for a while, you have some coaches who didn't get started right, but you kept going, you pushed through, and you had some success, you can get people to re-engage, but you've got to make it, you've got to take it on you. Okay, you've got to own it, and it's got to be something that they're okay with doing again. So learn to take a little bit of blame. So those are kind of my 3 major tips. The first one is, if you have authority, you can rely on it. If you don't, you can't. You're going to have to become a good communicator. That's number 2. Number 3, and part of communication really, is learn to say you're sorry. Be the bigger person. Reach out to that person and tell them, hey, I don't know what happened. I don't know why we fell out of touch. We did. It's probably my fault. How can I make it better? Give that a try. Let me know how it works. Hope you guys are having a great day. If you have other questions about Team Beachbody and what it's like to be a Beachbody coach, or just anything, life, all kinds of stuff. I love filming videos like this. I just got this cool new light set up. I can't wait to see how it looks on the computer. I hope it looks good. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Does it look better than the other light? I don't know. So let me know, and I'll look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.